coming your way. We are so fired up. We're out here for the Cowboys-Giants season opener.
We have Hall of Famer Terrell Owens joining us for the whole second hour of the show. We're getting into AB. Of course, Giants, Cowboys, Steelers, Pats, so much more. Stay right there.
Myself, Antonio, we're both in communication with the Raiders organization, with Coach Gruden, with Mike Mayock, with the owner, Mark Davis, and we are in the process of rectifying, hopefully, his future with the team. If it's up to me, if it's up to Antonio, he'll be back immediately and we can put all this stuff behind him. Some communications will continue today, tomorrow. Hopefully we can get things resolved where he can play against the Denver Broncos and get right back on track, scoring touchdowns, helping this team win a lot of football games this year.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome into the second hour of First Take here at Texas Live, our home away from home, a whole nother hour. You heard Drew Rosenhaus. He said that he feels like a deal with AB will get done. No one better to ask about this. Give it up for the Hall of Famer, Terrell Owens, everybody. All right. Let's get right to it. Tio, thank you so much for coming out. So according to Adam Schefter, the Raiders plan to suspend Antonio Brown for an alleged confrontation with GM Mike Mayock. Tio, what do you think should happen to AB now?
Honestly, I think he should go and, number one, apologize. Talk to Mayock and try to see if they can resolve this. They've put so much into getting Antonio Brown to the Oakland Raiders. Obviously, we've heard a lot about what happened in Pittsburgh, but obviously since that, there's been a lot that has transpired since then. So obviously with this latest incident, this is probably the icing on the cake. Everybody's obviously is probably rooting for the suspension. But there's so much riding on this season. There's so much riding on next season, going to Vegas, that they've invested so much in him. I don't think the answer is suspending him right away. If there's any way possible, and I think Drew Rosenhaus has said it, they're trying to resolve this behind closed doors. If they can do that and move forward, I think it's a good thing.
T.O., I disagree with you. I think he should be. I think he should be. And it's good to see you, bro. But I think he should be suspended immediately. And I'm gonna tell you why specifically. Max and I religiously talk about how we believe you've gotten a bad rap. If this were you, they'd have been all over it. The fact of the matter is, when you look at Antonio Brown, it's one thing to act up like he did in Pittsburgh because you're trying to get out of a bad situation and you're trying to get your money. Similar to you in Philadelphia before you departed. In the case of Antonio Brown, he got $30 million guaranteed. The Raiders have nothing to do with his helmet. The Raiders have nothing to do with his bad feet, okay? He, as far as I'm concerned, brought all of this on himself.
Self-inflicted,
and it's self-inflicted, and that is why I say I was suspended, because I gave him his money. There's no excuse for this. To that you say what?
Like I said, what you just mentioned, all of it is self-inflicted. I can't really put a finger on what's behind the behavior.
Okay.
All I can say, I'm not going to go into name calling, but he's been very unprofessional.
Right.
I'm not condoning a lot of what he's done, but I think with money comes power, and I think with money comes respect, and a lot of that I'm sure he's witnessed with the Pittsburgh Steelers before he got money, before he was Antonio Brown. He was that sixth rounder with a chip on his shoulder. When you talk about power and respect, he witnessed, I'm sure, the things that, again, when you post what has transpired as far as the Mayock finding you, missing practice, things of that nature. When you're a superstar, there is superstar treatment. And I guarantee you, by Mayock finding him, he probably felt a certain way because now he's the star with the Oakland Raiders.
There's superstar responsibility. First of all, T.O.,
right.
Let me just say this. Congratulations on the Hall of Fame.
Thank you.
I haven't been able to congratulate you personally. You should have been a first ballot Hall of Famer. And the thing that always, I'm passionate about this subject when it comes to you, because you are a diva receiver, many are, in my opinion, okay? But don't lump everyone in together. Receivers have big egos, but you only ever showed up and balled. Right. You were criticized and called selfish because you played on one leg in the Super Bowl. I couldn't believe what I was hearing because at the time I felt like if it was a white quarterback who did the same thing, he'd have been praised and lauded. But an African-American receiver playing, especially one who's expressed himself, playing on one leg is called selfish, and then you were the best player on the field. So but you are not Antonio Brown. He is not you.
No.
Let me tell you what Antonio Brown is doing and why they got to let him go. Not just suspend him, they got to let him go. He is holding my beering himself. You know, like people trying to one-up himself. He's one-upping himself. Oh, you think that was crazy? You think it was nuts me getting out of town? That was to get the money. Now I'm going to complain about the helmet. Now I'm going to tweet out stuff and throw my teammates under the bus. Oh, you think that's crazy? Now I'm going to fight my GM. And it's getting worse and worse. It's escalating. And T.O., he's acting like he's been through wars with these guys, and he's earned it over 5-6 years. He hasn't been through a single battle with this team, and he's acting like he's been there and done that, throwing him under the bus and wanting to fight the GM. T.O., this is not you. He's got to go.
I get it. I don't think he's going against his teammates. Obviously, this is something with the GM. Again, like I said, with power, with money comes power, and again, respect and entitlement. Again, I try to figure out, okay, why would he post the fine? Why would he post that? And for me, that comes with, he's obviously witnessed guys in that locker room in Pittsburgh with superstar treatment that have probably gotten stuff swept under the rug. But the fact that he's Antonio Brown. He's the star. He's almost the face of the Oakland Raiders. He feels like, okay, he can get away with some of these things, and he felt slighted in a sense. Do I condone it? Is it right?
But
Absolutely
if he wants
not.
to be treated that way, then what he's got to do is accept the fine, shut up, and be the face of the franchise.
Absolutely.
Hold on.
Absolutely.
I'm going to pick up on something T.O. said.
Absolutely.
Because the last time I had a conversation with Antonio Brown, which was in the process of him getting the hell out of Pittsburgh, one of the things he brought up was the treatment that Big Ben Roethlisberger received.
I'm telling you,
that's what you're alluding to, right?
Trust me, absolutely. Absolutely. Again, like I said, being in the locker room, I've been in that situation before. When I was in San Francisco, Mary used to treat me a different way than he did, just say, Jeff Garcia. I saw these things happen. Nobody knew about it, but I saw these things happen, and he treated me a certain way because, like I said, whether it was I'm an African-American, he was a white guy, whatever the case may be, I was treated a different way. I was assessed fines differently than Jeff Garcia or any other guy.
You know why? Because this is what the receivers, I think, in the NFL got to get through their heads. I don't care how great you are. You're not a quarterback. If you can't throw the ball,
but I bring the same type
rules.
of cachet. I brought a lot to the table. So even though
no
Jeff
doubt,
Garcia
but
was
you didn't throw the ball. That's
it
the
doesn't
bottom
matter.
line.
But I caught the ball.
No
I made difficult catches. If he didn't throw the ball right where I needed, my catch radius, I turned short passes into long passes. Sure. I made him look like a good quarterback, and like I said, I couldn't do anything without him.
You're proving the point that receivers want to be treated like quarterbacks, but y'all just not quarterbacks.
But we bring a lot to the table. Not everybody's the same.
And what T.O. is saying is that it's not like Jeff Garcia was Steve Young or Joe Montana. Sure. He was Jeff Garcia.
You were a better wideout than he was a quarterback, right?
Yeah, that's fair. With that being said, T.O., how much of the blame is on the Raiders?
Well, they knew what they were getting. Again, like I said, you knew going into this whole process. They gave
You
up
think they knew it was this bad, though?
No, I don't think they knew it was this bad. But again, like I said, this is something, what we mentioned is self-inflicted. Antonio Brown needs to look himself in the mirror and change some things about him, the person. The football player we know is going to come to show up. But him, the person, those are some things that he needs to change.
I need to say something right now. As critical as I've been, as much of an embarrassment as I think Antonio Brown has been, I do think it's important to point this out. People say, we didn't know, they didn't know what they were getting, or they knew what they were getting. Mm-hmm. Excuse me, this is a new Antonio Brown. Outside of last year being AWOL, the only thing to our knowledge that was going on, and I'm not trying to say that Pittsburgh Steelers obviously covered stuff up and knew a hell of a lot more than the rest of us. Yeah. Please don't get me wrong. That's always the case. But what I'm saying is, as far as the public knew, the only thing that Antonio Brown had done wrong prior to the last game of last season was the damn video in the locker room.
Oh, the Facebook Live,
after
when
they
Tomlin
beat Kansas City in the playoffs. That's it. So he always showed up to work. He was always revered as one of the hardest workers.
Absolutely.
To act like the stuff that we're seeing now, everyone should have known. No, this is new.
That's
he's
what I'm saying.
Do you think
So Stephen A.
He's not showing up to work.
Stephen A. No doubt.
What's his objective here?
Hold on. Do you think that he's falling apart? In other words, like this is
yes.
New. Something's going on.
Yes, I think he's falling apart. Something has happened to him.
He's going about this situation the wrong way. He's gotten the money, so it can't be the money. For me, I know Antonio Brown, he loves his family. He loves his kids, right? For if anything, he should do and make some changes for his family.
Not only does he have his money, he hasn't played a game yet. It's not like something was going wrong with the regular season and you're losing it.
Right.
No, he hasn't
what
played
do you
a game.
think is going through his head? Do you really think he feels like everyone's out to get him? Like if you could try to put yourself in his head, because I don't get it.
Again, like I said, I've tried to wrap my brain around it. And like I said, with money comes power. respect, and entitlement. Again, there are things I'm sure, I guarantee you, that he witnessed in that locker room that he felt like
about Big Ben.
About Big Ben, that with that treatment that he got, he wants that.
And he's not going to do it again in Oakland.
I told me that person.
So AB, learn how to throw the ball or shut up.
I haven't even talked to you, but I know I went